So as an example of this situation, here's what we have. We're going to use a car jack. It's a hydraulic pump to lift a car to change a flat tire. Now, many of these car jacks do not operate this way anymore. What they do here is they have one where you can actually move in a circle instead of up and down. I'm going to use the one that you move up and down because it's easier to actually see what is going on. So picture-wise, this is kind of what I imagine. Well, I have the ground. And what we're going to do here is that we have to have a flat tire. So if I have a flat tire, you could imagine that this tire is flat. And what we're going to do here is that we got to change that tire. So when I look at this car, what I'm seeing here is that I have this scenario right here. So let's say that you're sporting a green car today. So what you're seeing here, what you do here is that you come in with a car jack. And when you're looking at this car jack, what happens here is that you can attach something, or you could put it right underneath the frame of the car, and then you start jacking up the car, as they say. So this guy right here is a car jack. So the way you operate the car jack is you actually put in what's known as a tire iron, right? So this is a tire iron. And the whole goal of the tire iron is that you're going to do what? You're going to move this up and down. So to give you a sense of what is actually happening, what you find here is that the details of a car jack is somewhat similar to a playground seesaw. And so what you'll find here is that what you do here is that you have a fulcrum. And when you're looking at this fulcrum right here, what you do here is that you come in and you put a seesaw, a board across this thing. And when you look at this board here, what you're going to do here is that you find that you can take a kid that looks like this, and you could have another kid like this here. And so when you're looking at this thing, you can balance each of these situations. So there's a balancing. There's a balancing act between these two kids. So what you're going to find here in a car jack, there is a similar thing here. So when you look at a car jack, what you're going to find is that here is what you find. So what you find here is that you have your car jack and it looks like this. And it looks something like this here. And what you're finding here is it goes like this here. And inside of this car jack is called a hydraulic pump. So remember, this is not the way a hydraulic pump operates, but this is an analogy to give you a sense of what is going on. And effectively, what you end up having here is that you have a similar type of fulcrum right here. And then you look at your what do you call it? Your tire iron. So now what you see here is that, look at this fatter kid, how it's closer to the fulcrum. Look at this skinnier kid. So this one is farther away. This one is closer to the fulcrum. So what you find here is that it goes something like this. So here's the tire iron. And so what happens here? As you push down, right? You're going to push down on the fulcrum. What you actually see here is that this guy moves like this. And so what you see here is that in this car jack, let me move this down a little bit. I need just a tiny bit more space. What you're seeing with this car jack is that this here is the force of your hand. And the one thing that works really important with the car jack is that a car jack does work that does not disappear but is transferred 100%. So the work never disappears. So what we're saying here is that the work done by the car jack should be a constant. So what that means here, the force of my hand, and what you're seeing with the force of your hand is that you're getting what? You're getting a very large distance here. So you get a big distance. And so when you look on this other side, you see that this distance is small. So the only way this force can be a constant here is that if the force of my hand, which is small, means that you have what? A very, very, very big distance. And then you're going to see that the force of the jack lifting up the car is really big. That's the force that's being applied on the car. And the reason why you have to jack it up so many times is because you only move it a tiny distance. So in this case, what you're seeing, there are two ways to do the same amount of work. There are two ways to do the same amount of work. And that's kind of surprising. There are many other examples, but I won't go in and show you them because I think this is a very, very good example to give you a sense about that.